All right,
Is
record.
my mic muffled or anything?
No, I can hear you fine.
Which way it comes out. Okay,
So,
cool.
so you can just start by telling me your name, and what you do or your title.
Okay.
What you do.
Yeah. So my name is Kayla Dozier, soon to be Dr. Kayla Dozier in April. Crazy. I am right now, I'm a chiropractic student, but April 24th, I will be a doctor of chiropractic.
That's what's up. So you've been letting us say your last name wrong this entire time?
Okay, you can say Dozier or Dozier. Like
Oh,
I have people in my family that say it both ways, but I just like to emphasize as people know how to spell it. Dozier, Dozier.
okay.
It's easy. It don't matter.
I was like, wow. All right. Okay. So, soon to be doctor of chiropractor. What is that? What does that mean? Like, what does that feel like to be, or soon to be doctor of chiropractic?
What does it feel like? It honestly, like, because it wasn't my initial, like when I started school, like back at UC, like this was never I didn't know that I was going to go on to be any kind of doctor. So it's just kind of surreal because it just kind of happened. Like when you just go with the flow of life, like stuff just happens. So it's also a lot of pressure too. It feels like a lot of pressure because people expect so much from you.
Yeah.
Like people ask questions and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to like know this stuff. And I'm like not even out of school yet. People are already asking me like, so what do you think about that? I'm like, dang, like that title really like holds weight. Like you have to know your stuff. But the education piece is like, we do 3.5 years. So we're more than like, we're very knowledgeable, but it's just like being fresh out of school is like so weird because it's like, you know more than you think, you know more than you think you know.
Okay. Cool. So in the profession that you're in, like, what is the ratio or percentage of like men to women in the field?
So this is a white male dominated profession, like
Yeah.
other professions.
Mostly.
I'm not gonna throw out a number, but we can go with my class. So like, let's say my class size was, we'll say like 75.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably 10 women.
Wow.
Yeah. So that just to put it into perspective, and most of the classes are like that.
Okay.
It's very male dominated for sure.
What about being an African American woman, like that double minority? How scarce are we in the field that you're in?
In chiropractic, we're growing.
Okay.
I feel like everything else, like we're getting just Black people in general, just getting our foot into these different avenues that because we weren't able to be in so long ago, like, the growth is slow, but I would say, I don't even know the percentage of Black chiropractors. It's not a lot. There's a lot of us, but when you put into the whole perspective, like it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And then about women, Black women, we have a good little group of us, but it's like when you put it on the grand scheme of things, like we need more of us for sure. So in my class, there were 2 Black people in my class and both were female.
Wow.
And so I would kind of say, one thing I do want to say is that from a standpoint of being a Black female versus Black male, I feel like there are more Black females in the profession, and that may be just my perspective, maybe because of the Black men, maybe like the previous generation of chiropractors, there were more. But I feel like, there still are a lot of Black male, but I feel like even in the American Black Chiropractic Association or the Student American Black Chiropractic Association, at least at our school, the women are more involved. So maybe that's why I feel like there's more of us. But yeah, it's a double minority. As a whole, we're just now really getting our foot in the door of chiropractic, and that's because of people who have done stuff in the past and really like paved the way for us to be able to be right now. Yeah.
So then, like, what do you think is going to take to boost those numbers? Because honestly, I don't hear a lot of people talking about becoming a chiropractor. So what do you think can help boost those numbers of African American males and females, choosing that career path?
Yeah. It's really going to take the work on our part. So we, like with the American Black Chiropractic Association, I'm just going to call it the ABCA. With the ABCA, we have like a lot of initiatives that are geared, like our whole mission statement is that we want to bring more Black students into chiropractic and then also foster those students while they're there. And then in turn, bring chiropractic to the Black community, because we are in like dire need of a shift and a change, and just like a whole paradigm shift of what healthcare is and what it means to be healthy. So really, like, chiropractors going into the communities and just being that beacon of light so that young people can see, a Black person being a chiropractor. Because like most of the things that we want to do, like if you wanted to be a doctor or whatever, it's probably because you had a good experience or you saw someone who was doing that, or you saw a lack of it.
Yeah.
So I think that and the shift is starting to happen. Like people are getting more into natural health and, trying to really like dive deeper into like, okay, people starting to wake up like something just don't feel right. And so as the shift starts to happen, and, for white people, it started happening a long time ago. So they're a little bit ahead of us.
Right.
And it's not our fault. So we're a little bit behind. But as a country, as we start to move in that direction, like I think that's when we're going to start to see more students. And it's definitely growing just from probably where it was 20, 30 years ago. So it's a steady climb. I think.
It's so steady. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So as a child, what did you want to be? Like, I know you said this was kind of dry, you walked into it. So when you were a child, obviously you weren't thinking about being a chiropractor. What did you want to be?
I wanted to be the commissioner of the WNBA.
Really? That is totally, it's still in some type of, it's still high, but
I don't know why. Like, I just used to always tell people, like, I don't know why that was what I wanted.
that's I wouldn't have thought you said that.
Yeah. Maybe, let's see, what else? That's probably the biggest one. I'm sure it's like shifted and changed. Probably in high school is when it changed to I thought I wanted to be a physical therapist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's kind of when that shift happened. Because like, high school, I was like going through this weird thing where it was like, I'm good at all subjects and like I don't really know, what I want to do. I thought about accounting. This is like as I get older, because my mom works for Aetna. She is I don't know, she does something with like insurance. But I thought like maybe financial route is something, but then that sounds really boring. So I'm glad I didn't do that. But yeah, when I was young, probably like the commissioner. I don't know why. That's just so random. I don't even know what the commissioner of the NBA does.
No clue. That's random. I had to think about like, oh wow. Hey, at least you had your sights set high, so you were gonna make it either way.
Yeah. I don't know how I was gonna get there. But yeah, I have my I set on doing that for whatever reason.
That's cool. And so I guess just over time, what made you shift from being the commissioner of the WBA to start checking out being a physical therapist?
I tore my ACL my freshman year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like known for all my ACL tears, but I tore my ACL, and I just had it was obviously like a devastating experience, especially as a 15-year-old. Mm-hmm. I handled it much better when I did it again at the age of 21 or whatever. But as a 16-year-old, like that's a lot to process, and it was painful. Mm-hmm. So I had a really good experience. My physical therapist, I think his name was Dr. Evans. I don't know if that was his first name or last name, but he was affiliated with the Atlanta Falcons. So it's called Atlanta Falcons Physical Therapy. And it was a really good experience. Like, I definitely would not have been able to get back on the court and like even continue pursuing, I wouldn't have met you. Aww. If I wouldn't have went there. And they really got me right. It was a long and hard process, but I was like, dang, like maybe this is something I could do with people. You have that experience, and I kind of saw myself in him. And there was another female doctor there too. She wasn't Black, but yeah, that was really what opened the door into maybe I want to do something with like the human body and helping athletes and stuff like that. That's when I first started to realize that.
Okay, cool, cool. So like with, like you mentioned, people waking up, or at least our community waking up to health crisis and Western medicine and what it's been doing, or no, yeah, this is Western medicine, big pharma,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah.
So, like, what is your dream then for the future? Like, what do you guys see within the chiropractic field, or hoping to see, as people just continue to wake up, or as we hopefully progress quicker? What is it that you think?
Um, I think it's important to note that there's a place for both. So there's modern medicine like has its place in healthcare. And natural, more holistic medicine also has its place in healthcare. And what's happened is it used to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we want it to go back to. But right now, I mean, we are just completely out of balance. Like the whole idea around, okay, I got sick, I'm gonna go to my doctor, they're gonna give me medication long term usually,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna give me medication to combat what my medication is doing, or to make to fix what this medication is doing. I'm gonna put this medication on top. Then so we're gonna do that for long term, and then once that fails, we're just gonna cut you open. Like that is completely like that's barbaric. That's so barbaric, but like that's the norm. Like we're just zombies walking through like that routine. And it's like I don't blame them because they're doing what they're taught. Like when you go to medical school, like that's what you're taught. You're taught to approach those things from a pharmaceutical, and maybe someone would get on here and say, well, that's starting to change. Okay, well, it should have started changing a long time ago, because this is not the way of health. And then when you talk about the Black community, we've just been so hurt as a community by the medical field, and that's just historic. And once again, like what's happening now really isn't their fault, but we just have that terrible history with medicine. And then when we could get to a doctor, like they were definitely just like, oh, just throw them the medication, like not looking at them as a whole person. And so now, instead of our education rates like inside of the tight-knit Black communities is lower. So we're not getting that education about, when I say education, I don't mean just like school. I'm talking about like life education, about the environment and about like all these different things. So we don't have that. So we go to the doctor, we get our medication, and we go home and we continue doing the same things we were doing that we don't know is really what's making us sick. Maybe we have one doctor that may have told us, oh, you don't need to decrease your salt.
Right.
Like, that's not so like no one is focused on like looking at the person as a whole and letting them know that like they're in charge of their health. Like they don't have to just go through this cycle of being sick until you die.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what it is. Like probably you have grandparents, or even probably maybe your parents, who are just on long-term medication, and they're just going to take that until they die of what the medication is supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
So hopefully, like I would love, oh my God, I would love to see the shift where we use the natural medicine first. And your thyroid is low, like let's try to figure out why your thyroid is low. Is it something to do with stress? Like, are you not handling stress right in your body? Are you not adapting well to your environment? What's going on with your gut? How does your spine look? Like how, chiropractic is not just back pain. It's letting the person on the table express life to a higher capacity. Like, and the natural health, that's your holistic doctors, that's your naturopathic doctors, functional medicine, acupuncture. There's just so many other options. And so it's like, let's use this first. And then once we've done this and you're doing well, and maybe, you do this for years and years and years, and then maybe you get to the point where, your body has just reached its limitations, and maybe you can bring in some medications to help support you, or have that surgery. But those things, like that medical side, it really should be used for emergencies. So like you fall off the roof and you break your leg, like obviously you need to go to need to go have surgery. You need to, get that patient. You antibiotics have a role as well. Like that's a necessary part of medicine. It's the over prescription of antibiotics that's the issue. So like it has its place. If I tore my ACL, I went to a medical doctor, and like I'm very grateful for what they did. But imagine that I have knee pain and they just go and like cut open my knee, and that has started to shift now. People know like, okay, you should rehab first, do other things before you do. So we have the idea. We're starting to get the idea right with like shoulder pain, knee pain kind of stuff. Back pain is like getting there, so people will use like chiropractic and physical therapy before they go and just have surgery. But it's the other piece of it: diabetes, high blood pressure, thyroid issues, just looking at the body as a whole. So I hope and I pray that the shift starts to happen quicker, especially for the Black community, because we're literally just being shoveled into graves at the masses, and it's unnecessary. It's preventable. It's preventable for sure.
Okay, that was nice. Really poetic. So, anybody who is maybe considering changing careers, especially, let me go back. What does it mean to be a woman in chiropractic? Since there's, so few of you all, or like you said, it's a lot, but not in the big number of things. But what does it mean to be a woman in the chiropractic field? Like, does it give you a certain type of confidence? Is it intimidating, like more challenging?
So at first it's intimidating because chiropractic is a very physical job. And so like when you're learning stuff in school, it's like these big like movements and it's a lot of strength and like, I'm like, oh, my strength is okay for, I play basketball in college. I'm an athlete. I work out every day, but it's like, these are taxing positions. And like the way that we're learning stuff is just like, it's so much. It's like, I can't go out and do something on the table that a 240-pound guy can do, which is like some of my classmates, guys that are 200. So like, it can be intimidating because if you just see guys doing stuff and you see like, they're just using most of their strength, and that can be like very like, dang, well, how am I going to get that segment to move? And I look like this and he looks like that. But once I started to get involved with people who like outside groups who are really about how to use your body to your advantage, and force equals mass times acceleration. So if I don't have as much mass, I have to be quick. I have to be lightning speed to be able to get that adjustment in. And so seeing other women, like I've seen some 5'2" girls like throw it down on people. So I'm like, okay, if they can do it and they can generate that force, like I know I can do it. Okay. And so once again, like just seeing people that have done it before, like I see women who are amazing adjusters. So I know that I can be that. But the adjustment and chiropractic in general it has a very masculine energy to it, but the best chiropractors have a balance of masculine and feminine energy. And that's not male, female, that's the energy, masculine is more earthy and more dense. And that feminine is the quick lightning speed, that intuition. And like when you're on the table and you're connecting with the patient, like that's the feminine aspect of it, the intention. And so you have to have all those things to be a good chiropractor and to give a good adjustment. So at first, when you first start school, it could be intimidating. And if you never surround yourself with people who, can teach you how to use your body, then you'll probably you'll probably graduate and then never adjust because you don't know how to. You'll go do something else, like, I don't know, teach or something.
I feel
teach chiropractic. Teach chiropractic.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about because you can't do it like, but you kind of know like the science behind it. You could teach other people like biology or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, no hate on teachers. I love teachers.
I feel played. Don't my teacher. I felt played. I was like, well, dang, but
From my bad clarification.
Yeah. So, you have any tips, any advice for any woman thinking about changing careers, considering chiropractic or becoming a chiropractor? any children as well that, you know, may see this and you want to spark their interest with it, what do you have for them?
Yeah. My advice, if you're interested in you feel like you're interested in the human body and you're thinking about physical therapy right now, we need physical therapists. So if that's what you really feel in your soul and your heart, then do that. If you're on the track to going to medical school and you really feel like that's in your soul and your spirit, then do that. But if you're looking for something that is needed and something where you can change people's lives every single day, just by simply placing your hands on them, then I would say go be a chiropractor for sure. If you're interested in the more holistic stuff and you want to help people, but you don't feel right about giving medication, then look into functional medicine, look into naturopathy. I would say go with your gut, and your gut will start to, like, your intuition will start to grow and strengthen, like, as you listen to it more. Mm-hmm. So do whatever, like, if you have that inkling, like, oh, like, I'm already signed up for medical school, but like, it just doesn't feel right, or something in me doesn't feel right, I would say just give it a try. Shadow a chiropractor. Type in, I mean, I'm sure wherever you live, I know that there has to be some in your vicinity. And you don't have to necessarily shadow just the Black ones. Shadow any chiropractor, because you'll go to 2 different chiropractic offices and you will see 2 totally different styles and, you know, how they run their office. And so just because you go to one and you don't necessarily jive with it, like, you may go to another and be like, okay, this is way different. Like, this is more my flow. This is more my speed. And so I would say just shadow. If you are looking for a Black chiropractor, you can go to abcachiro.com. I know they're working with a feature where you can just, like, type in your address and it'll pop up, like, all the Black chiropractors that are a part of the ABCA. So that's an option. And now Google has a cool feature, like, when you type in, if you type in Black chiropractor and you click on, like, the first one that you see at the bottom, it should say if it's Black owned, women led, LGBTQ friendly. So it'll have those markers if you're like, oh, Tom Jones, I don't know if he's Black or right. And Jones can go away. So
right. Okay, that's okay, Google. I see.
And also they can reach, like, anybody who's in school, not in school. This can be a second career. Do you know how many people in my class just alone, they already have, like, 5-year-long careers that they've already completed and they felt led and called to go to chiropractic school. Like, so it's never too late. I mean, I'm 27, so I started school when I'm about to be 28. So I started school when I was 24, I think, because it's 3.5 years. Yeah, so 24. So I had already been out of school for 3 years. And people in my class are, like, about the same age, or a lot of people are a little bit older. So it's never too late to go after, you know, your passions and your dreams and what you really want in life. But I would say, if you don't, like, people are like, oh, I'm 27, like, I don't want to go back to school. Okay, well, you're going to be 30 and then you're going to be still unhappy what you're doing. So you might as well just do it now, because would you rather be 30 and doing what you want to do, or 30 and still thinking about 3 years ago when you could have started school? So, I mean, you know, just do it. And that's not just for chiropractic. That's whatever you feel like in your gut, in your spirit, that you want to do. Like, just do it, because it's never too late.
Okay, sure. I like that. That was dope. So if you don't have anything else, I'm gonna stop recording. You have anything else you want to say?
Follow me on Instagram, Kayla X Christine. So I've kind of been quiet on social media lately, just because I'm about to.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Before I start recording, tell me about Haiti, because I saw that everywhere. What was that like? How did we almost end this interview without talking about that? What was that about?
So I went on a mission trip to Haiti. I went with Chiropractic. That's the name of the group. So let me just talk about my expectations going in. So I knew a little bit, you know, I had friends who had been before and who were going this time. And so I'm just thinking, like, it's going to be, you know, every day we go out to the village, we adjust, you know, we see just people all day long, and then, you know, we come home chill. I expected that. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Look, hold on. I'm going to stop you real quick. When I first saw you post on it, and I saw that you was in Haiti and you was in a hotel or you was in the pool or something with some dudes. I was like, man, I hope Kayla don't get kidnapped. Like, no lie. When I didn't know why you were there though. I thought you had just went on vacation. I was like,
No.
man.
So it's really cool because and I'll go back to like what actually happened, but so Haiti and Dominican Republic are kissing cousins right next door. And so we literally stay right here on the DR side. Okay. It's a resort. I say resort, but it's not like vacation resort. It's like, we're there for a reason. All the food is there. I don't even know if anyone else that was staying at the resort was like outside. I don't know. Anyway, so we stay here and then every day we drive across the border into Haiti and we go to these different places. So like that pool was on the little resort. So that was all my chiropractic friends. I wasn't. Yeah, no,
I think like once I saw why you was there, I was like, okay, cool. But at first I was like, ooh, it's a lot of dudes. This guy taking vibes all over it. So I'm glad you're still here with us.
But okay, so my expectations versus what actually happened. So I kept hearing people like talk about orphans. But the Cairo missions, when it was first started, it was like the most devastating hurricane or earthquake in Haiti.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly, like these thousands of kids became orphans. And so Dr. Peter Morgan, they went back to Haiti, they set up camp, they were like feeding people, trying to take care of these kids who like literally in 2 seconds were orphans. Mm-hmm. So that's how the Mission Life Orphanage was founded. That was in Port-au-Prince, which is the capital. So I think maybe the next year, and I'm probably getting the details wrong, but either way, he moved it to where it is now. So if this is Haiti, Port-au-Prince is like down here, and then he moved it to basically close to the border. Okay. And so the most incredible piece of the mission trip is that we get to spend so much time with these orphans. So like they meet us every day and they help us with our tables, they help us translate, and they just like kick it with us all day. And so at lunchtime, we'll either go back to the orphanage or back to the resort, and then we'll switch days. So if one day we go back to the orphanage for lunch, the next day we'll go back for dinner and just like hang out with them all night at the orphanage. And so that like, I mean, you get so connected to these kids and they are the brightest, most talented, like genuine, authentic. They have nothing and they will literally give you the shoes off of their feet if they see that something happened to yours. So yeah, like that piece was very emotional, and these kids who deserve everything but don't have much. And so my friends Jessica and Shekinah, they had raised a bunch of money before that last mission trip in December. And they were able to get the kids like more beds, pillows, mattresses. They got them a little like seating area. So they raised like thousands and thousands of dollars. And so our next thing is that we're trying to fix the plumbing, because the plumbing situation right now is like, it's not good. Like if you were to go, they would like completely break your heart. And they also brought a bunch of like clothes and shoes and all that stuff with them as well. So like, and I had no idea that this was happening, that they were doing this. I met them on the mission trip. And so when I met them, I was like, and like saw what they were able to do, I was like, wow, that's absolutely incredible, like what they did. So we're still taking donations. If you want to, you can send money. If you have like maybe old clothes, you can send in the mail. I don't know, like that might get a little expensive, but I think money would be is the best thing they need right now. So as soon as I got back, my heart was completely broken for these kids. So I started a GoFundMe that was specifically for education, because, my friends, Jessica and Shaq, they were able to get more of the like necessities, which the kids still need more of. But I was like, okay, now the younger kids like need to learn English. The older kids know English, most of them, but the younger kids need English classes. So like that costs money. So I actually I paid for that myself because I felt like I wanted to just give. So I paid for, I don't even know how many months of classes. So I did that. And then the GoFundMe money is going to go for the older kids to be able to go to like professional school. So like electricity, stuff like that, because when they have that, they're able to get jobs and have money, and they can use money to get things like passports, birth certificates, food.
Yeah.
But food is the first thing. Like, so it's important for the older kids, especially the ones who probably won't go on to like university. They'll probably stay in Haiti for the rest of their lives. Like they need these skills in order to be able to survive. So because they can't stay in the orphanage forever, unfortunately. But I mean, a lot of them are old, so like or older. So I mean, they let them stay there, but eventually, they're not gonna want to stay with all these little kids. Where they want to have their own stuff. Yeah, so that's what most of the money's for now. And any extra that we have will be going towards because right now they eat mostly rice. So that will be going towards like trying to get some more protein. They have protein every once in a while, but just trying to get more of that into their diet for sure. So
well, that's dope. That's dope. I'm sure that changed your life.
it did. Oh, I'm going back in April. I just booked my booked my ticket the other day. Yeah. So it's every 4 months they do it. So December, April, there's gonna be one in June, and then maybe like October, and then December. So going, and then a different group goes every time. But you can go every single time. If I have the money, I'm probably gonna go every single time.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I hear that. So cool. I'm
so,
glad.
I mean, life-changing experience. And I would say whatever field you're in, if you have the opportunity to go and help people that are less fortunate, I mean, obviously people less fortunate here, but if you get the chance to go to a different country, go from a place of love and not judgment, and you trying to force your beliefs and your culture and what you do on them. Like go just like literally from a place of love and serving them however they need, not serving them how you feel like they need to act or do or whatever. But I would encourage everyone to go for sure.
That's dope. That's dope. I'm glad you got to share that before I start recording. So you were in the middle of saying something. I asked if there's anything else you want to say before I start recording.
No, that's really it. The link for the GoFundMe is in my bio on my Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. What's your Instagram again? Because I think I cut you off. You said.
At Kayla X Christina, CHR.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.